Riddle me this. Was Kim Jong Il the leader who shielded North Korea from foreign threats and Western domination? Or the man who kept his people hungry, afraid, and isolated from the world? Let's step inside one of the most secretive regimes of the modern era and pull back the curtain on the man called the Dear Leader. If this video made you see things from a new angle, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Hero or Villain, and share this video. Thanks for watching. The making of an heir, childhood in the shadow of a revolution. Kim Jong Il's birth itself is wrapped in myth. Official North Korean accounts say he was born on Mount Pektu in 1942 under a double rainbow, accompanied by the cry of a sacred swallow, a divine sign. Historians outside North Korea agree he was likely born in 1941 in a Soviet camp near Khabarovsk, where his father Kim Il-sung was stationed as a guerrilla commander fighting Japanese occupation. Raised during the founding years of the DPRK, Kim Jong-il grew up surrounded by military pageantry and ideology. By the 1970s, he was already running the propaganda and agitation department, perfecting the cult of personality that would dominate North Korea's political culture for decades. Building the cult, absolute loyalty as a political weapon. Kim Jong-il perfected what his father had started. Propaganda mastermind. He personally oversaw cultural productions, from operas to movies, shaping narratives that made the Kim dynasty semi-divine. Mandatory reverence. Portraits of him and his father were hung in every home. Citizens had to keep them clean. Inspections were common. Personal myths. Stories circulated of his genius, that he learned to walk at 3 weeks, talk at 8 weeks, and never once used a toilet. This wasn't eccentricity. It was a system of control, merging politics with faith. The Arduous March, the famine years. When Kim Jong-il officially took power in 1994, the country was already in crisis. The collapse of the Soviet Union ended crucial subsidies of food and fuel. Floods and poor harvests devastated agriculture. The regime's insistence on military-first spending worsened shortages. The result was the Great Famine, 1994 to 1998, called the Arduous March in state propaganda. Between 1 to 3 million people are believed to have died of starvation. Desperate citizens resorted to eating grass, tree bark, and in some cases, reports of cannibalism emerged. The state tightly controlled aid, funneling food to loyalists first, leaving rural regions to suffer most. Kim Jong-il rarely appeared in public during this time, but propaganda painted him as sharing the people's pain, traveling the countryside, offering guidance, and encouraging endurance. Protector or oppressor. The case for national defender. Songun, military first. Policy. Kim argued that with the US and South Korea as constant threats, survival required prioritizing the army above all else. Nuclear deterrent. He accelerated nuclear research, believing atomic weapons were the ultimate guarantee against regime change. Political survival. Through brinkmanship, he kept the regime alive despite sanctions, famine, and near-total diplomatic isolation. The case for ruthless despot. Human rights abuses. UN reports document prison camps, Kwanliso, holding up to 120,000 people, where torture, forced labor, and executions were routine. Information blackout. Foreign media, internet, and even radios were banned or tightly controlled. Personality cult enforcement. Failing to show proper respect could mean imprisonment or worse. Kim Jong-il the diplomat. Calculated brinkmanship. Kim was far from a passive hermit. He played global politics like a dangerous game of poker. 1994 agreed framework. North Korea agreed to freeze its nuclear program in exchange for fuel and aid from the US, but secretly continued research. Six-party talks, 2003 to 2009, he negotiated with China, Russia, South Korea, Japan, and the US, skillfully extracting concessions while keeping his nuclear ambitions alive. Surprise meetings, visits to China, Russia, and clandestine talks with Western envoys kept the world guessing. His unpredictability, some called it the madman strategy, forced even superpowers to take him seriously. Sketch of the day. A winter night at Pyongyang Station. The armored train hisses clouds of steam as Kim Jong Il stands in the doorway, dark glasses on despite the gloom, cigarette tip glowing like an ember. Behind him, aides bow deeply, their breath misting in the cold. In the distance, the towering bronze statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il rise against the night sky, floodlit and eternal, symbols of a dynasty that demands devotion even in silence. Final thoughts. Kim Jong-il's legacy is one of dualities. He preserved North Korea's sovereignty, but at enormous human cost. He stood up to global powers, but kept his own people in chains. He built nuclear weapons to prevent war, and in doing so, deepened the isolation of his nation. Was he a defender of the nation, or the architect of its suffering? Perhaps both. His life reminds us that power can protect and imprison at the same time, and that sometimes survival for a regime can mean sacrifice for an entire people. If this video made you see things from a new angle, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Hero or Villain, and share this video. Thanks for watching.